Now that that's done, now we're gonna create our menu bar. Well, we're gonna update our menu bar. Let's look at the updates we have to make. So there's home, my Pokedex, and settings. Those are all the items in our menu bar. So let's get started with that. Let's go into nav.js. Make sure we're in nav.js. And what VS Code just did here is change or format our code while we saved. There's a way to do that, and I will show that in a different video, but I have auto format on in my VS Code. And for this one, I don't think it's really good because it just switched my div statement into one line, which is good for most part, but most codes won't be one-liner. So let's hit Command Z or Control Z and go back to how it was before. So I think this is how it would look on your, but if it's not, make sure you have return and then a bracket and a bracket. Cool. Let's go right here, hit enter, and we're gonna add items in our menu. So our first item we're gonna add is a home item, and the way to do that is using a. Now we could have used header 1, header 2, or whatever, but we're gonna go with a, which is used whenever we have a link, right? A is always for links, so we're just gonna use a tag for this right here, and we're gonna have this be home, and we're gonna copy it 3 times. Let's do one more and one more, and for this we're gonna do my Pokedex, and the third one would be settings. And while we work on this app, we're gonna add more menu items, but for now these look good for me. So let's save that and see how it looks. And that's how it looks right there. Not very UI friendly. So let's fix that. How do we fix it? Well, we use CSS. So the first thing we have to do is go into our nav container, which is right here, and we're going to add overflow hidden. So this will help us make our navigation. So after that, we're gonna create a new CSS style called dot nav container, and then any a elements inside nav container, and this is how we access that a. And if this was a div, we could do div instead, but since our tags are a, we're going to do a and hit and create it like this. And inside there, we're going to change our a element color to white. After that, we're going to do text align to center. Let's look at how that looks. Let's see how that looks real quick. Looks pretty good. Hit display as blocks. This will help make it look like a menu. Next, we're going to kind of make it a little bit pleasing to the eye, and we're going to do that with font weight. Font weight is for making it bolder, and we're going to do, let's see how it looks with bold. It's a little too much. I'm gonna do 500 instead. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And then we're gonna change the font size up a little bit. Let's see, 20 pixel would look pretty nice. Maybe a little too big, but we're gonna keep it like that since this is how it looks normally. So keep that. And then we're gonna have a margin bottom, which is going to be 15 pixel. So what a margin bottom does is it adds some margin for that element. So this home element will create space in the bottom, right? 15 pixel space in the bottom, right? The difference between margin bottom and padding bottom will be a little different, so we're gonna show that right now. But first, I'm gonna look at my styles and see what else we need to do. So we need space right here in our navigation. So the way to do this is if we go into nav container, we can do padding, just like before, padding top, since this is the top, right? And then we're gonna do, let's do 80 pixel and see how that looks. Let's go a little more, let's do 100 pixel. Looks nice, cool. So the difference between padding top and margin top, let's look at that. If we had added margin top here instead, and do 100 pixel, it'll go above it. So margin moves the element and padding adds the space inside the element, while margin puts the space outside of the element. Okay, now that that is done, our menu bar looks pretty nice and neat. Yeah, that looks good. And now we're gonna add this right here called onClick. OnClick, and we're gonna say alert, right? Set alert, home button pressed. So this is called a function. And we just created a function called onClick function. And we will go over functions in a little bit, but for this one, all you need to do is we're just gonna have that as kind of a way to know what menu was clicked. Dex, button press, and settings, button press. Save that. See how it looks. Nice, nice, nice. Cool. Okay.